What's good, GATV? It's your boy Gravitating Away, back at it again. Now I'm showing you guys a video on Dick Gregory, who spoke in a sense of giving advice to young African Americans. And I want you guys to check this out because the point was made so clear. This is an important message, and I want you guys to stick around. After the video, I'll have my commentary, but it's more so of advice to my young brothers and sisters, specifically my young black men that are out there. See, I'm not in the business, as one would say, of fixing broken men. This is my advice to young men and young women, and I hope you guys stick around and hear it. It comes from the heart and it's true with its intent. Check the video out, guys.
Don't make the mistake that most of your mothers and fathers made. When I wake up in the morning, my prayers, and I thank God I woke up, the Ku Klux Klan woke up this morning. The drug pushers woke up this morning. I thank God that I made another 24 hours in the most vicious, nasty, hateful, insane nation that's ever existed, with my wits, without hating, without being bitter, without being mean. And I thank God that I survived 24 hours in that type of atmosphere with the type of amusement and friendliness. And so I would say to young folks, don't be in a state of denial of the racism and sexism, but don't let that block you. Don't teach your children that you have to be twice as good as a white. That's an awful thing to teach your child. Mm-hmm. That's like saying because you're black, white America has a right to change your dollar for 94 cents. But we used to get 50 cents, and before that we used to get nothing. Young folks have to say, we don't want more change for a dollar. Excuse me, we want a full dollar's change for a dollar, or this cash register will never ring again.
Yes.
I would also like for young blacks to understand that about 83% of all employment happen with small businesses. And excuse me, if you don't have a small business, then you have nobody to work for you. And I would say to young blacks, get into entrepreneurship. We will never catch up with white America till we get into business, because there's a thing called tax write-offs. And if you have a job and come together, 10 of you, and open up a corporation and have somebody run it, you hiring somebody to run it, but you have tax write-offs. 98% of people that fly first class on airplanes would not be there if that wasn't a write-off. And yet, on that first class, they gave away last year $800 million, almost $1 billion of free whiskey. But if a welfare mother asked for some apple juice for the baby, she's laughed at. And so I would say entrepreneurship, and then understand that we will never survive as a group until we get into communities and not neighborhoods. A community is, I control the police, the banks, the schools, the firefighters, and I control the flow of the money. And I have no problem when I go in a Jewish neighborhood and the shop owners are Jewish, and I go into an Italian neighborhood and the shop owners are Italian. I have a problem when I come in a black neighborhood and the shop owners is not me. A Korean has a right to come in and buy my shop for $30 million more than it's worth. That's good business. But if we decide that we're not going to do business with that one, then he'll have to sell it back, or she'll sell it back to a black person for $1 million. Yes. And then the money circulates, and that's how you change. We've been so busy dealing with the hurt and the pain and the misery and glamorizing a hand few that have made it, that we have never really looked at, like they say, your role model. If you haven't got a role model in your house, you should fall on your knees and pray to God, because something is wrong.
Yes.
And so I would say to young folks, it's not about alcohol, but it's hard for me to say that to you when a 5-year-old got to reach past mama's beer and papa's wine to get some mayonnaise. I would also say to young folks that the number one drug that will wipe you out is not cocaine, it's not heroin, it's marijuana, and they deliberately make that a recreation drug, but it stays in the muscles, it stays in the blood, and it will wipe out your memory bank. And also, this is the first time in the history of TB that TB has always been known as poor folks. It's the first time that TB is not running rampant in the ghetto. It's running rampant in middle-income white America, because it's the marijuana that they spray, and that's no accident. And so I would just say to young folks, you have to reevaluate everything you've been taught. I would say to the black folks that just because a black person is 90 years old don't mean they have wisdom, and you need to listen to them, because if you was dumb and stupid when you was 9, you dumb and stupid when you 90.
Hearing the brother speak, I'm telling you, it always moves me. You know, a man that I've admired, again, as I said, throughout my lifetime. Now, I'm going to give you guys some advice here, man. And you can take it or leave it, but I'm telling you, I wish I had somebody that has spoken to me coming from the heart as I am right now when I was younger. And these are a few mistakes that I've made that you could learn from. One of the biggest mistakes that I have made was trying to account for long-term tragedies among the people you deal with every day. So instead, you often just do what's current rather than what's long-term. It's very hard to get the attention of the goals that you seek for when you are being relatively complacent and content with things that do not benefit you or your path ahead. This is something that I took serious, and before I didn't know what it meant and how it attributed to my life. It was really learning multiple languages other than the language that my parents gave me. My first language is English, but in the household I learned how to speak Creole, and through Creole I went further deep with French. And all my, see, here's the thing, living in South Florida, you get to learn so much diversity, and I took advantage of that. I had, a few Spanish friends, they taught me Spanish. So listen, learning a second language, when people tell you, hey, it doesn't matter, screw that. You need to learn a second language here in the US. I have worked and climbed up many levels economically and throughout society because of learning multiple languages, folks. And being well-rounded, the understanding that learning every day was a key component of my growth. My ability to have pivotal networking skills. Also, in this decade, having great conversational skills. This will make you a better orator in what you're speaking on, and it provides depth of who you are outside of how someone may view you with stereotypical lens. It's important as a human to be inclusive, folks. When we share a language, we understand each other. This bonds relationships and brings about a sense of belonging and identity. An aspect of Black American culture, which is always overlooked, is its capacity to embrace the other. By learning multiple languages, learning multiple backgrounds, we are respecting Americans who communicate in different forms. You're honoring the inclusivity of Black American culture. Be diligent in everything you do, my young brothers and sisters. Be impeccable with your word. Know your history. Read. Stay up to date. In fact, I wear glasses now because I've even read in the dark. I remember reading the autobiography of Malcolm X, and he stated while in prison, he read throughout the dark, and it caused him to have, vision impairments. because he would read and read and read. Please don't take that for granted. I'm not telling you to become a bifocal wearer like me. I'm just saying, take reading very important. Even in a digital space that we're now in, do not take for granted the benefits of reading, y'all. Don't take things at face value. Do the research. And while this is a message for my younger folks, it's a message for a lot of you YouTubians. Stop taking things at face value, especially my gullible people that goes off of everything you see on YouTube. Nah, man, do the research. And in life, young folks, if you're listening, do the research. Be a student of this game, man. Never ever consider yourself less than. I don't care how much of a cliche that may sound like. It is so true. Never ever consider yourself less than. Anything that anyone else has accomplished, never undersell that you can accomplish the same. Any place that anyone else has gone, dare I say, you can go to. Stay engaged with life. Don't blow off experiences or opportunities. Everything you encounter or experience is edifying. You will work hard for every accomplishment. State that to yourself, even at your lowest moment, people. You will work hard for every accomplishment. Depending on who you encounter, it will be harder to make these accomplishments. You may encounter discrimination. Some people will discount your accomplishments, i.e. your haters. Maybe it's because of how you look. None of that will stop you from being the best human being you are supposed to be. Now, I don't know who needed to hear those words. I don't know how many people stuck around to have those words digested in your mental. But I'm telling you, looking back, I'm proud that I took the time to give these words, because these are the words a young brother is thirsty for, a young sister could benefit from. And these are the words that I talk to the youths that are incarcerated right now, whom I deal with, and the ones who are in housing, who are in foster care. I talk to them like this. And I'm telling you, if words are so powerful, what's more powerful are the young people that embrace this. The people that don't wait till they're older and full of bitterness, full of all this detriment, that they want to lash out and give all this negativity in the community and the people they come across. It's the young people that have took the time to honor listening to those words. See, those words may not change their realities right then and there. Those young folks may not adhere to those words right then and there. But when you stick around, when you allow yourself to have those words gravitate around your thinking cap, I'm telling you, it causes so much change.